Reviews, discussions, and theories about films in horror, sci-fi, and genre. This is the Horror Deconstruction. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more.
Lars and Lisa are in a dysfunctional marriage. He's a director with no ambition, she's an actress with no prospects. They can't stand each other and are looking to kill another. As they take some time at Lars's father's cottage home in the wilderness, their plans go to kill each other are messed up, including a handyman who was killed after double and triple crossing them. They are confronted by theory-escaped convicts who had holed up in their attic. After an almost butt thrashing on Lars by one of the convicts saved by his wife, convicts decide to hold the couple hostage for a weekend until Lisa can get them money for their escape. Eventually Lars escapes, and a bloody battle between the couple and the convicts goes on, with the escaped prisoners having the upper hand. With intervention by Lars's father leading to his demise, the couple ultimately kill off the bad guys and reinvest in their marriage, now famous, and adapting their ordeal into a large screen film. What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction with your host Comp and
that movie Virtuosity from 20 years ago.
Today's film is...
It's not that movie, it's The Trip 2021. Yonde Dagger or something.
The Trip 2021, released 2022. Original title, Ion Dagger. A dysfunctional couple head to a remote cabin to reconnect, but each has intentions to kill each other before they can carry out their plans. Unexpected visitors arrive and they face a greater danger. Directed by Tommy Wirkola, even though I doubt that's a guy who speaks like that.
He's like a Italian guy in Brooklyn.
He's probably like, hey you take that fork and hammer away, you start waving that fork on. Alright, written by Tommy Wirkola, Nick Ball, John Niven, starring Noomi Rapace.
Oh, he made Dead Snow.
Axel Hennie, Antel Antonsen. So this is a film that came out on Netflix. So Danny, why did you pick The Trip? Or as I like to call it, The Hunt, by accident, like every 50 minutes.
Because, yeah, you can, because it's Norwegian and Noomi, what's-her-face is in it, and, it's a horror movie, and why not? Why not?
Yeah, so The Hunt, I was going to say Fridge. The Trip is this film that I was hearing, like, it was good. I kept hearing, oh, it's good. And I was like, it's a horror movie? I'm like, what is it? But it's one of those films
it's a dark comedy.
It's a dark comedy genre film, and since it's European, it's not afraid of showing, like...
Lots of violence. Yeah,
lots of violence and rapping, and not rapping like you. Just imagine pronouncing that word another way. But Danny would rather not fully say the word. But, YouTube algorithms. So Trip is one of those European films where they could do a genre film, but then they'll put monstrously heinous stuff in it. Because, their culture, they're able to actually absorb this material in and not
without
run.
Without
school shootings. Although they do have shootings over there sometimes, very rarely.
Sure.
But the thing is, when you shoot over there, like that this scumbag who I think he killed like 70 plus children or people.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to say the guy's name, but he was like a white nationalist dude. He shot a whole bunch of these people.
Oh, you're talking here? Yeah.
No. I'm talking about a guy over there, and he goes to jail, and he's upset that he doesn't get enough PlayStation time. So it's one of those. They actually believe that
I need to go to jail over there. My life would be better.
So anyway, and he wanted his hearing to be released. He wants to be let out early for I think 15 years or something like that after killing 70 plus people. And he starts out his how to stop. He's starting out his meeting by hailing Hitler at the beginning. Put him under the fucking jail. Anyway, so Trip is one of those European films where it has gore, violence, sexual situations, and it is not afraid to show it. Very good acting, and it stars. Really good acting. Like I always knew Noomi Rapace is a good actor, but boy, Axel Hennie, boy, does that guy is.
The last thing we saw Noomi, what's her face in, was in that sheep movie.
Yeah, Lamb.
Okay.
Well, very. I enjoyed that film. It's not a horror movie, but it's good. Noomi Rapace. Everybody obviously. Well, I don't think everybody knows because they know the American version of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She starred in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the proper, I guess, adaptations because they were Swedish, right?
I believe, right?
So
yeah.
she played the original Lisbeth Salander in those 3 films. But apparently, people saying the budget of those movies looked like made for TV level. Okay. And so I was always like, well, I like David Fincher's version, so I haven't seen those. And I do like David Fincher's version, but I can see as an actor why she was like fucking like she's so good. And obviously she was in Prometheus. They you know how long it is to have a main character that you like in a film? And Ridley Scott was making movies that I wasn't interested in. He made Prometheus, which is basically a remake of Alien, where it was very, very like interesting.
People did
for
not like it, but I liked it.
I liked it a lot. It was a very interesting, well done film for the first like 75% of it, and then they're like, okay, let's throw an alien component. Let's do that. You know, it's the same thing we did with the sequel to it. But she was the Ripley of that film, and she was great, fantastic. Yeah. Then they released the sequel for it, right? And I guess they were like, you know what? You know Noomi Rapace, the character that you liked. Let's get rid of her. Let's not even have her in this movie. Let's kill her off 5 seconds. And it was just like Ridley Scott.
Just spoiled the movie.
Listen, don't watch that movie. Go watch Prometheus. That's a good movie. This is garbage. But anyway, Noomi Rapace has been kind of quietly been in and out of American films, and she's an excellent actor. And I was glad to see her in this, playing sort of a different type of character in this film. And I
like the bad guys too; they're fun.
Yeah, but also her husband in the film, played by Axel Hennie, he's really good. And I guess he's been in and out of American films. And it's so funny because I watch a YouTube channel. I guess it's just face blindness, but
he looks like the guy from Mandalorian and Breaking Bad.
Bill Burr, right? But the thing is, that's the thing. I guess if you're bald and you have a goatee.
And red hair.
Yeah, because there's a YouTube channel, a random YouTube channel that I watch called The World of Mr. Gray, and all he does is debunk ghost videos. Because like I don't really believe in ghosts. I like the idea of ghosts. I like being spooked out by ghosts and stuff like that. And
what about Ghostbusters?
And yeah, depending on which version of Ghostbusters it is. But ghosts, like, people are making a lot of money by being quote unquote, I'm doing my fingers in the air, ghost investigators, where they capture paranormal activity and they put it on TikTok, and people actually believe that your cupboard opening is a ghost and not a piece of fishing string moving it. You know what I mean? And then they'll see people that look like characters from The Ring, and they'll be like, oh my god, this is real. It's a really good... Yeah, okay. So Mr. Gray looks just like the actor, and he's basically debunking it. It's a great channel, and it'll ruin any ghost channel video because he's great and he's funny. But anyway, back to this film. Axel Hennie has a great...
I watched one of those Ghost Hunter things. I don't know which show it was, but I've never had watched it. I watched one episode.
It's probably got to be Ghost Adventures.
It's this whole build-up, blah, 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 blah. And of course, the second they find the ghost, the flashlight goes out.
That's why I'm not really into, like, found footage movies dealing with ghost stuff. Is just like the most
you
boring.
Hear things moving around with the flashlights out, and then the flashlights go back. It's like, okay.
Well, the biggest show that was on Travel Channel was the Ghost Adventures, which is like a bunch of like dude bros looking for ghosts, which I enjoyed. I actually enjoyed. I stopped watching.
What was that horror movie we saw about a bunch of dude bros looking for ghosts?
I was about to say it.
And they get
Grave Encounters.
It was Japanese.
Oh no! Well, it's two. We saw two movies like that. We saw Grave Encounters.
Yeah, there's an American one and there's a Japanese one.
Grave Encounters, and the other one was like a Korean one, which was entertaining.
Are you sure it's Korean? I remember the ghost was making this squeaky sound going or something like that, and it was like, whoa, this is actually like really creepy. It was making like kissy faces and just standing there. It was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's a Korean ghost found footage horror movie. Let me just look up the name right now.
Well, you know what? I'll look
Ganjiam Haunted Asylum. That's the one that we saw. So the two movies that we saw, Ganji Hamilton to the Silent was fun, but it was basically ripping off every other American movie. And Grave Encounters, I was like, this is terrible. But anyway, back to this movie. People love that movie. But Axel Henny plays Lars, and Noomi Rapace plays Lisa. There are a couple that obviously want to kill each other. We are leading off with Lars, as in we're following him because we think that he's going to be the one that's going to kill her, but she ends up getting the upper hand in that she's going to kill him. Unfortunately for them, they didn't know that there were 3 guys that broke out of I guess it's like real life, because over there they're not so crazy about like holding people up in jail. I don't know what the deal is. You know, if they let you play PlayStation and shit like that in jail.
Well, I think that's a little too much, but mostly they see jail as a chance to reform the prisoner, and also they don't have 25% of the world's prison population like the USA. So
yeah.
I think that they're doing better.
It's big business here in the U.S. So anyway, these 3 guys break out. Atle Antonsen, Petter. They really pronounce Petter instead of Peter over there like that. Christian Rubeck, who plays a Nazi character named Dave, and I believe
no, Dave was the big dick one.
Was he? Okay, you're right. Yeah, because he has blonde hair, so I was sort of confused. And Andre Erickson.
Yeah, Roy.
Yeah, right. Roy's the Nazi character. It was so funny because Petter looked like an even more like disheveled version of the guy from Stranger Things to me. Like he just looked like a bigger, like if that was his older brother. You know the main guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff.
And so these 3 guys were holed up in this cabin that was Lars's father's. I felt bad for his father in the movie, but
I was happy for his father in a way. They got a heartwarming moment.
They did, yeah. He was proud of his
got to see the sunrise.
That was good foreshadowing.
There's a lot of foreshadowing when I rewatched a bit of it, and like it shows the lawnmower, and like it's very like it pans in and all the things that will come into play.
A big foreshadowing, obviously, though, is when Lars's dad basically doesn't respect his son because he believes his son is not a real
and he needs a war.
He needs a personal war or something, and that's what ends up happening then. But boy, does his father pay a big price for that. But he still got to live out and die as a man, I guess, quote unquote, as a way. I personally wouldn't want my organs shredded up by a fucking thing, but at least it's
there
an
are worse
interesting
ways to go.
I guess so. So this couple are up there. They're gonna try to kill each other. She gets the upper hand. They have this friend, the helper guy, who's a little bit slow, and he was gonna do it, but
what the hell was his name? I'm totally blanking.
Is it Mikkel maybe or Victor? I don't know which one is it.
I think it's Victor.
So this guy was gonna help the husband kill her, but then he ends up getting killed. So I wasn't sure. Like I just by hearing that the 3 guys broke out of prison, I knew what this movie was going to be 5 seconds into it. So this is a movie that, in some shape or form, you've seen already. Like,
yeah, it's pretty standard.
But it's the way that it's done, right? It's the way. See, every movie has been done already. Every single movie has been done already. That's why they call it genre pictures. Like you have a crisis of a marriage. You have, aliens invading Earth. They're all the same movie.
I do like the idea that the couple was going to kill each other on the same day, and I don't think they should have said that on the wiki because it like kind of ruins it.
Yeah,
like,
I guess you could see it be, but I like the subtlety. Yeah, because if they didn't say that at the beginning of the film, like in the information about the film, like it's very subtly but well done. I don't know if I would have caught. I guess I would have caught it in the beginning had I not known what this movie was about. Because
I don't think I would have known that she was going to do that.
Right. Well, yeah, but the way that Lars is like, oh, my wife said she's gonna go on a trip. Like that part.
Yeah.
She was gonna go by herself. Yeah, that's what's funny about it. Because he is like basically like you want to like him as a main character, but you're like, what's he really doing? He is a piece of shit.
Also, can I ask? I mean, I'm skipping ahead here, but he put the pool balls up his ass, right?
Oh yes, he certainly did.
Yeah. Because the way it
was very subtle.
Answer it, I thought was very funny.
See, that the way they did is that they handled everything very subtly for the most part, and that's like a good way of having an intelligent audience. Because I think this film, for the most part, they're like respect that their audience aren't fucking fools, and that's what I liked about it. But boy, does this movie go into some dark directions, like, because it is on the outside of it, it's like a dark black comedy. It's like, it's just gonna be lighthearted with little dark elements. But boy, does it get dark. This movie does get super. I knew, like, just from the moment, because Lars does a very bad boy thing. There's an old joke about a guy. It's a very old joke about this guy who his house is broken into and he's in bed with his wife, and the robber comes in and he ties up both the husband and the wife. And the guy says to his wife, "Listen, honey, it's gonna be over real quick. Just let him take advantage of us so we can live through this." And then the robber raps the husband instead. That's the joke of it. So knowing just from that scene with the build up when they're both downstairs, and
I didn't expect
Lars coldly, very coldly. Oh boy, is he cold, because he knows that his wife has been having an affair with him with some guy named Diego.
And maybe now you'll be sad.
And I was like, oof, because that's a way to not have like people like your character. So that was a real.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, I think he would have been upset though.
Yeah, I think so, because she ends up being the better character, because she ends up saving his ass literally, although he ends up filling it
multiple
up with,
times actually.
Yeah, he ends up filling it up with.
Also, he's
balls.
stupid. I mean, when he knocks the guy out, it's like, hit him like 4 more times. What are you doing?
They never go for the kill. The only I swear to you, the only movie where I see a character that follows through is John Wick. That's the only character that has ever.
If I was in that situation, I hit someone in the face, I would fucking repeatedly. I would bash it until their brain was.
Yeah, exactly.
That way, it's 100%.
Have you seen any John Wick movies?
No, I hear they're good.
They're very good, Danny. You watch and you be like, like. you would sit there with your hands behind your head going, because you know what he does after he shoots somebody? You know what he does? He goes back to the person and he shoots them in the head. So that's what John Wick does. That's like, if you want...
Confirm the kill.
Yes.
It's in Zombieland too. Double tap.
Right. If you want a movie with the Zombieland also. So if you want a film where you know the main character will kill the fucking guy, like they will kill the bad guy, like there's no question about it, go watch it. John Wick, all 3 movies are very entertaining movies.
So much could have been avoided if he had done
absolutely
that. But then again, they couldn't have done it.
Yeah, because I mean the bad guys get a good upper hand a lot of the time in this film. Petter is actually pretty good at being this sort of very ominous and dark.
He's a comedian in real life.
Is he? Oh, he's great. Comedians are very good at playing dramatic, because everybody knows comedians, like funny people, are screwed up. Danny and I certainly very well. I think I'm taking
I don't consider myself funny, so yeah.
I'm taking the very arrogant stance that Danny and I are funny, but apparently on YouTube we're not very funny because nobody listens to us. But we're very dark people, and I when you want actors that are like comedic and playing dark roles, they're part and parcel very well done. But all 3 of the main bad guys are very entertaining in their own way. The Nazi shitting himself after eating wild berries, and then
that was funny.
Comes back as a joke with shit falling on Petter's face. Roy the rapist, who is into men's buttocks.
Horse dick.
Horse dick, and then his dick gets blown right off.
Now, is he dead?
If your whole personality and what people know you by is your horse dick is dead, you might as well be dead. It's like
right.
It's like Jamiroquai without his hat, and that's a very solid 2000s reference.
His leg is obviously going to be amputated.
Oh yeah, he's done for it. And that was like
his dick is gone.
I gotta hand them props for the gore that's in this film. Well, it's not
God, it's rough.
It's not super graphic, but it's realistic. Kind of
the bottle scene where where Roy's head is on the bottle and she stomps on his head. Oh.
But just the part where you say where he stomps on Horse Dick's leg so it snaps backwards.
God,
Oof,
yeah.
It is rough. I was like actually scared for the part because I thought they were gonna kill Lars. You know, when they're driving away, and Petter shoots at the car and it makes them like I guess it hits them by their shoulder or something. Hits the girl on her shoulder. But I was like, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, you have a general idea that they're gonna outdo the bad guys, like you think, but you don't know who's gonna survive to the end, because European films are like, much like when we saw what's that movie that you liked but you hated to like with the rich kids terrorizing the family. Funny Games. That movie that I can't watch that movie because it upsets me so much.
It upsets me with the dog scene a lot.
Yeah. But this is one of those type of European films where it's a genre film, and you've seen it 100 times, but they do it in a way that's so good, especially like when Axel Hennie's acting, when he's about to get butt loved, And I'm sorry to use such a funny phrase for such a horrific act that happens.
We don't
want
to get our algorithm.
But
whatever these fucking words mean.
But Lars's acting and his just pitiable, just his like.
Oh, there's
crying.
A scene where there's all these like boogers on his face.
It is. I'm telling you, it's one of the best acting scenes I've ever seen ever. Like I was like afraid the guy's fucking blood pressure was gonna shoot out of his fucking ears. It's like it's one of those acting scenes of like you remember the kid in The Witch, the V-Witch?
Yeah, when he dies.
Yeah. It's just that like style of like somebody going for it all. You know what I mean? So I was very, very impressed by his acting in it. And so, obviously they get the upper hand on the people, the old, I was going to say the grandpa, but the father ends up getting killed at the end. But I like that he came back.
I like that the grandpa
I figured he was
in
going to come. They even gave him his own fun homophobic joke in it for like the older Swedish people that I guess have problems with...
Norwegian.
Yeah, because you get your brain wired nowadays with political correctness about not to laugh at things. So then I'm like, oh my god, I'm offended by this joke because he said.
I loved when he called the car a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, but I thought he was a fun sort of character, and
he's just an asshole. He calls the guy at the gas station a fatso.
Like, yeah. So, but I'm sure there's people on Twitter going, oh, this character needs to be get rid of on the Blu-ray.
The guy
on the Blu-ray,
you've got to watch a horror movie.
On the Blu-ray, you've got to erase this character. You've got to replace him with I don't even want to get into it. But I really liked the film. I really enjoyed the film. Danny picked a 2 for 2 good movies, which I'm sure he'll pick 7 bad ones.
I'm sure you're gonna torture me now by choosing something.
No, I'll try to pick some. Well, I mean, I pick bad movies for the sake of the show, for the funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I know.
If we appreciate a movie, it's not funny for people. But
I understand.
I really, really. Was there anything that you didn't like about the film?
It's I don't know. It's a little predictable. I mean, obviously, we've seen all the, and like the ending's a little silly and cheesy, but it's okay.
I mean, what kind of do you expect from this type of film? Like, the bad guy, there's a couple, there's gonna be a bad guy, they need to survive this. I did like the fact that I didn't know if people were gonna survive towards the end, just because it was a European. It's an American film, sometimes you don't know if that, not always, right? But this one, I certainly, you're right. But that's actually a director with a brain in their head. And then what happened to that guy? That was what is the guy? The guy he directed
got completely screwed by
AMC. He won $100 million. He sued them.
Really?
And now he's not going to be able to direct any movies, basically, because they're like, oh, you can't sue them because Hollywood's right. I forget the name of the director. The director who did the Shawshank
he has
Redemption.
$100 million. He can make his own movies.
Yeah, but once you get that money.
If I had $100 million, you make 100 movies.
Yeah, that is Frank Darabont, who is genius. That guy does just incredible work. He did The Mist. He did Green Mile, which I didn't see. Forrest Gump. Wow. Wait a minute. Is that right? Gump. No, he didn't do that. That couldn't have been him, right? Let me see. No, he didn't do that. He's known for it, but I don't know. He must have wrote the script or something. Sorry, people. Hold on a second. But anyway.
No, he was... Oh, anyway, go on.
But anyway, so yeah, he got kicked off The Walking Dead, and they basically stole his show from him, and it's become what it has become. So who knows? Anyway, back to this film. I liked it a lot. It is a predictable film, but unpredictable to a point, but incredibly enjoyable. And I think that it's a fun film. It certainly is looked really good.
It's a fun film.
It certainly is a film that, like, you watch and you go, shit, that wasn't a waste of my time. Just like
I enjoyed it. I watched it straight through, which is not a thing I always do.
Yeah, same here. I was just like, oh, this is good. This is like this isn't a piece of crap. So like Netflix actually did good in buying this film. I'm sure Netflix had nothing to do with like making it, but I certainly believe that they did a good job with bringing it out. And it got a little nice following for it, so people know that it exists. So I didn't have any problem with it besides the sort of predictability of certain elements of it. And the marketing probably is what they screwed up with.
He wrote the screenplay for Fly 2, for Tales from the Crypt episodes, The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, huh?
Remember, Fly 2 was pretty fun.
It wasn't the worst. I mean, it's silly, but He wrote the screenplay for Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That's like the best one.
Oh, he did? Oh, well then shit. There you go, right there. That's enough. That's Frank Darabont we're talking about. I have to see what his Forrest...
And The Blob, which I actually really like that movie.
Why is Forrest Gump... Why is Frank Darabont has to do with Forrest Gump? I don't know why it says he's known for that. But anyway, regardless. Whatever. We're talking about the Trip. I enjoyed it. Danny, what rating would you give The Trip?
I will give it a 8.5 out of 10. Stabbing a man with a rake and stomping another man's head into a bottle of red wine.
And I know we gave a lot of love to Axel Henny's performance, but I gotta say Noomi Rapace is great as just playing this. She has her own very good emotional scenes, especially the part where she's talking about her cheating relationship and how it meant nothing and how they tried to work it out but didn't. She's really good in this also. So I would give it a 8 out of 10. Eating some wild berries and shitting in an attic, and then that shit falling onto one of your cohort's faces.
Can we call it poop though?
Oh, we have to call it poop.
That's cuter.
Maybe we have to call it bioengineered excrement from now on because YouTube might
bio residue.
Yeah, there you go. So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Babysitting clubs.